This time of year, our seed packets are lying to you. Our average frost date is about October 15th. That's about 75 days from when you're watching this video. While 60 days till harvest plant might seem long enough to plant in a 75-day window, I'm telling you, it's a trap. Don't plant that plant in that short time frame. We have to do what I call a little bit of frost math if we're gonna do this properly. So in this video, I'm gonna go through and talk a little bit about that frost math, give you some tips and tricks. But first, let's get into what we still can plant here in August with our 75-day window that we have. First things that you can sow are the really fast crops, like your radishes, your arugula. Those things take about 30 days, so you can get a harvest with those guys relatively quick. Matter of fact, you might be able to succession plant those just a little bit if you wanted to. Leafy greens are another one. Spinach and lettuce are going to be great for fall crops. As a matter of fact, when it gets a little cooler outside, they taste a little sweeter. So what you may want to do with these guys is start them inside and then transplant them outside. By doing that, you're ensuring that you're getting a good germination, because that germination may be too hot right now. It may be too hot right now to germinate those plants outside. So go ahead and start those inside and then bring them outside later and transplant them later when the nights are cooler. And the next thing that you could plant are going to be some of your root veggies. This includes carrots, turnips, beets, kohlrabi. Now, this kohlrabi, there are some longer maturing varieties. You want to stay away from those. You want to do the ones that are about 55 to 60 days. You want to do those. Those can take a light frost as well, so you should be okay with those. By getting them in the ground now, you're going to get those roots to grow way down deep in the soil, and it's going to be key for these root crops. The next thing we can still plant in August is going to be your beans, your legumes, like your beans, your pole beans. Pole beans, you want to look for, again, you want to look for a variety that's going to be a little bit of a shorter maturity date than some of them that say are 100 days out, because these are not going to be frost tender. But there's still plenty of beans out there that got a 50, 40-day maturity date that you probably still can get in the ground. Peas are going to be the same way. What I like to do with these peas, the sugar snap peas especially, is soak them into the water to get them germinating quicker. Once you get them germinated, once you get them sprouted, plant them in the soil and off they go. Now let's move on to brassicas. Last month in July, I told you to go ahead and start planting some of these brassicas. That's going to be key here. You want to have your cabbages, your broccolis, your Brussels sprouts, your kohlrabi. You want to have those as starts. I started those inside down in my basement grow room. That way I have plenty of time for them to get big and get ready. And then I'm going to transplant these out into the garden. August is going to be the time frame I'm going to be doing this. Probably going to be mid to late August before I do this, so that way the days are a little bit cooler and then I can get them out into the garden. And let's not forget some flowers. I also planted some calendulas as well. Sweet alyssum is going to be another one that likes the cooler weather. It's got a quick turnaround time. That'll be great. Pansies are well. They'll add a vibrant, bright color to your garden. If you like those fall oranges, definitely go ahead and look up those calendulas. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to hopefully plant a couple green stalks full of calendulas. Earlier in the video, I talked about doing some frost math. What is frost math, you might ask? Well, frost math, it can be a little bit complicated, but it doesn't have to be. First thing you need to do is know your last frost date. For us, that's October 15th. So that gives us from October 15th to today, gives us approximately 75 days. Now, 75 days you might think is long enough to grow some of these plants, but it truly isn't in the fall. When the days start getting shorter, the daylight starts getting shorter, you're not going to have a great growing period for these plants to get as much photosynthesis as what they would do in May and June and July. So once these days start getting shorter, the plant's growth slows down a little bit. So one rule of thumb that you want to keep in mind is you probably want to add about 2 weeks or 20 days, anywhere from that time frame, onto that to give yourself a buffer zone. And by giving yourself a buffer zone, you're going to guarantee you're going to get a harvest. Also, with the cooler weather, that tends to slow things down a little bit as well, so you got to keep all that in mind. Use that 2-week rule, that 14 days to 20-day rule, and you'll be just fine. If you want to help your plants along in this heat and into the fall and into the cold, what you need to do is do a couple tricks that I do. One is mulch. By mulching, you'll cool off the soil. You'll keep that heat from beating down on that sun beating on the soil and warming it up. You also provide moisture in that soil. Sometimes these months can be a little dry. That'll help retain the moisture in the soil. You'll definitely benefit from a good layer of mulch. whether it be comfrey mulch, which I like, you know, getting your hands nice and down and dirty. Uh, you get your wood chip mulch, straw, whatever you got, grass clippings. Put a layer of mulch down, something that will break down over time. Actually, if you do it, breaks down over time, it will break down through the winter and add nutrients in the soil for the next spring as well. So definitely get a layer of mulch in. The next thing you can do is plant in the shade. If you notice, I got these lovely sunflowers growing behind me. You can plant your lettuce, your spinaches in the shade, and that shade will help out with cooling off the temperatures on the soil. That sun won't beat down on that soil so hard. And by doing that, you're going to help yourself with great germination rates. And then once things start germinating, these plants will be done anyways. Go ahead and get them out. Make room for your for that sun to beat down on those plants whenever it's nice and cool. Another thing you can do is extend your harvest. Extend your window. An easy way of doing that is by building hoop houses. I do a little bit of a structure over my beds with some simple fiberglass poles and some plastic and some clips. It's really simple. Just make sure you weight it down on the sides, and you'll have an extended window where you can go out and you can cover up the plants very easily at night, and then uncover them during the day if it gets too hot, or you can simply leave them covered up if it stays too cold. And I'll tell you what, you can grow stuff well into December. I've done it. I've grown stuff well into January, as a matter of fact, in my garden, just by having that in there. I know it does take a little bit of work, but the work is well worth it and it's rewarding. And hey, that time of year, you're not going to be dealing with bugs. You're not going to be dealing with weeds. You're just going to be out there enjoying that cooler weather in the garden and being satisfied with all your happy little plants and your happy little soul. So tell me, what are you guys going to be doing? What are you guys going to be taking risk on this fall? Are you guys going to be putting anything in your garden this fall? Leave me a comment down below. Tell me if you're getting your fingernails dirty. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Hype the video. Cheers, everybody. God bless. And keep them fingernails dirty.